like, I would use this example for myself. This year I'll be 3 years sober, and that was a choice. Yes, that was a choice, but I didn't get to that point of choosing to be sober until I knew that I was ready to take on the task of what sobriety channeled. It was a choice to decide to put myself in other environments. It was a choice to change the people that I was hanging around. It was a choice of looking at the effects of what sobriety meant and how not being sober has scoped my life, and to reflect on those moments and how I affected other people and how it affected me. So when I chose to decide on sobriety, I knew that.
Welcome to the Just Keep Showing Up podcast, a show designed to remind us all that sometimes the hardest part is just, well, showing up. I'm your host, Derek Michael Williams, and in each episode, we explore stories, insights, and a little motivation to help you stay the course, even on the tough days. So whether you're here for inspiration, a gentle nudge, you're in the right place. Let's keep showing up together. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. This is your man, Derek. I have the pleasure of speaking to Kamilah. How you doing, Kamilah?
Hello, Derek. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, excited to go into conversation and just kind of see where this leads us today.
Yes, thank you so very much. We've had an opportunity to talk a couple of times, so I know this is about to be really, really good. So I'm very excited. I'm trying to keep myself calm. So the first thing we start off with is just have you introduce yourself to everyone, just so they know who's talking to them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kamilah. I'm here to talk to you guys today. I am originally from Prince George's County, Maryland. I live here in LA. I have the pleasure of speaking with Derek today. He's visiting us. And I am a connector. I am a connector of people. I'm a connector of spaces. I am connector of environments, conversation, dialect, and I am someone who keeps her heart open and leaves space for individuals to feel comfortable in being themselves. Um, I was thinking about like what I wanted to really say about myself, because I'm usually one to say a lot about myself, and I didn't want it to be something that would be superficial or on the surface. I could have started this conversation with talking about my accolades, but I feel like that's something that I would usually go to, and I didn't want that to be the conversation today. Okay. So I'll start with that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Saying you're connector of people, that definitely, I think we have this, like, both of us are Libras. Like, I'm a big people person. So
yes,
that's definitely something I understand. Uh, so with this being a Just Keep Showing Up podcast, and once again, it goes back to the first time I met you and had an opportunity to go out to dinner with you and Aaron. Just the conversation we had, I was like, man, it'd be amazing to have you on the show. Just the way your brain works, like the way you, like, just from that conversation.
yeah.
So this has been a Just Keep Showing Up podcast. And my question to you is, what do you do for yourself to continue to show up in all the spaces that you may find yourself in?
I think the thing that I do, there are a couple things that I do to keep showing up. The first thing being is to check in with myself. I have for a long time, but more recently gone to the space of realizing and affirming that I am a person who struggles with anxiety and depression. And there was a time in my life where I couldn't announce that in the room without feeling um, the thoughts of being judged or being labeled as that. But I don't feel like that is a negative thing to be labeled as. I feel like it's a opportunity to spark conversation. It's an opportunity to be accepted by other individuals that might be struggling in the space that I'm in, or just struggling in general, and allow them the safety in knowing that there are other individuals that are just like them. I think that anxiety comes from the fear of not wanting to do something that you're toggling with, or you might be skeptical of if you're able to attain, or if you feel like there is any hesitation of it being a possibility of you actually winning. And I feel like I've learned that it is my superpower. Depression is also another thing that I have learned to accept as well, because we all have places of feeling down, or places of feeling that we are can be better at something. And I feel like that's just how I would define my space of feeling depressed or low, or in a space where I can be better, if those are the kindest words that I can put to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that I'll have to stay there forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have learned to accept that that is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That is the human part about me. And it allows me to love deeper, and to allow more individuals to know that I am a safe space.
That is good. That was a lot. So a lot in a very good way. You mentioned anxiety being a superpower. That resonates with me because I've defined anxiety. I remember talking to someone on a podcast that I had the privilege of being on, and I defined anxiety as a check engine light for myself. Almost like I'm feeling this anxiety, I'm feeling something. So what's going on inside of me that I need to like course correct to kind of figure out.
Right.
And sometimes it could be just as simple as not preparing for, like I have a meeting
Right.
and I'm kind of anxious about it.
Right.
And I got to ask myself, did I properly prepare for the meeting?
Right.
To kind of scale back some of the anxiety. Sometimes that's it.
Right.
Sometimes I can find myself being nervous about something that I'm fully prepared, you know.
Right. I would say I would exactly agree with that, but I would say also channeling it as your compass.
Your compass.
As your compass.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're lost, as you
Yes.
said, or you're trying to find direction, you use a compass to figure out which way that you're going.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way that you do with your emotions.
Yes.
Your emotions navigate, your comfortability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you feel a level of discomfort, you just go back to that compass.
Yeah.
And that'll steer you in the right way of where you're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, it has to do with our intuition and our discernment.
Yeah.
And we have an internal compass that navigates the fear, navigates the channeling that tells us which way that we're supposed to be led.
Mm-hmm. Did you find, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier today, that how you saying now that you like affirming the struggle that you may have, have you found that you learning to trust yourself more has allowed you to kind of live freely, like embrace who you are, and has connected you with more people because you're willing to be open?
I feel like it's connected me with groups that I am more uncomfortable with.
Oh, and can you explain that? Yeah. Like,
so I feel that before, anxiety was a place of anxiety, and depression was a place of fear. So generally when you're in a place of fear, you'll hide and you go to what you're comfortable with.
Okay.
And then now that I know that I'm uncomfortable, I think sometimes you're placed in places that are uncomfortable so that you can face your fears. And because I'm in a place of wanting to navigate in a positive way, I'm being more pushed in the direction of facing my fears, which will be the uncomfortable places. And if I want to win anxiety, depression, or whatever that department is for you, I have to come face to face with it. And so I have used that to navigate, not necessarily being in places that I want to be in, but to know that I'm in a place that I need to pay more closer attention to, or I need to be more aware of, or I need to check in with my internal compass to know that, okay, how do I come to a place of facing this fear? Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And it's like you explained, just living life and kind of like the maturation process as we go through life, and as we I guess kind of seek out growing, almost like something else. Like as you explain that, it reminds me that maturing in life is something that you do deliberately. It doesn't just happen passively.
Right.
You have to actually be active and deliberate in trying to mature.
Right. Right. It's a choice.
Yeah, a choice.
It's
Yes.
a choice. And everyone comes to that agreement in their own time. So you can't be forced
I agree.
into choosing to want to better your life. It's just like I would use this example for myself. This year I'll be 3 years sober, and that was a choice. Yes. That was a choice, but I didn't get to that point of choosing to be sober until I knew that I was ready to take on the task of what sobriety channeled. It was a choice to decide to put myself in other environments. It was a choice to change the people that I was hanging around. It was a choice of looking at the effects of what sobriety meant and how not being sober has scoped my life, and to reflect on those moments and how I affected other people and how it affected me. So when I chose to decide on sobriety, I knew that I wanted a change in my life. And that's the change that I would say also goes for any other area of your life. Maturity as well is a choice of choosing something different.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And that made me think of I often tell people life is the best teacher. Like a person can explain something to you, give you advice about things. It is not until you actually ready yourself to make that change. Because a person can like preach to you and say things over and over and over, but it's not until we're ready, because we're going to be we're the ones who have to kind of sustain that and continue to do the work, to continue to move forward.
Right. And it's like, it's never any endpoint to it.
Yes.
I feel like at some point, like some people feel like, oh, okay, I've reached my peak. Or another example, tailoring to myself, for therapy. I was in therapy for 3 years. And at that point, I had faced a grave loss, which was someone very special to myself. And I knew that I needed extra help. I couldn't do that on my own. And then after 3 years, I was in a better place, but there was still work to do. But the initial point of me going to therapy was for grief. So I feel like there are avenues in your life that is always a turning point for growth. And so I'm now in therapy again, but this time it's because of life changes or navigation, discernment, also life choices, self-worth. That's another thing that I'm like bettering as well. So I feel like my scope of why I'm there has changed. And I feel like that is also a good entity of how you can look at life, that is always ever evolving.
Yeah. Would you say in life or in your life that you've found like opportunities to pivot? Basically, it's kind of what you're doing is you're going this way and you just take a pivot.
Right. I said it. I would say it's exactly that. The pivot. The embrace of the pivot is exactly what life is. And then knowing when to pivot also, because you'll get like little key notes of like, this is happening, that's happening, and maybe you're forced into it or you choose to do it. Sometimes you're forced into it. So the pivot is going to happen. It's going to happen.
And even with that pivot, you can still keep your eyes focused on where you want to go, but you may have to take, like, I don't know, what's the routes out here, 205, 105. You may have to go around something, but you're still trying to get to the end. And I think it's big in conversations too, with when you're talking to someone and understanding that you both may have the same end goal, and instead of debating about, sometimes we get caught up in debating on how we're going to do it. As long as I guess the end goal is the same, that's the thing that matters the most. You kind of have the conversation of how we get there. And it's kind of almost like arguing with yourself about life. It's like, look, we just gonna do a little pivot, so we can go. Instead of trying to knock down every wall that's in front of you.
Exactly. It's like your stepping stones. I think sometimes we look at a goal and we're like, I need to do X, Y, Z, and I need to get it all done right now. No, actually, I need to do step 1. And then I'll get to step 6. But let's start with step 1.
Yes, and that's the power of one. The power of one step. You can't take 2 without 1. You need that last $1 bill to get to $1 million,
Right.
So it's never underestimating the power of 1. And something I've heard from Will Smith, and I've said this a couple of times, his dad, in his book, he talked about how his dad had him building this wall one summer.
Right.
And they was thinking of all the different ways they could do it faster, but he intentionally wanted them to build it brick by brick, understanding the importance of each brick as they was building the wall. So that's kind of something I live by, the brick by brick method, just one brick at a time, and you get to your goal. So.
Or one foot in front of the other.
Just continuing to press forward. So, all right. Well, this has been really, really good. So yes. So with the things that you shared, if there's anything that you shared that resonates with anyone, they may find themselves going through some of the things, they just listen to this and like, man, what she's saying is really good, and it's kind of resonates with me. What advice would you give that person?
Listen to your discernment. Listen to your discernment. You have an internal compass that navigates any questions that you may have. Just listen on the first time.
Yes, I believe that. Yes.
On the first time. If you get any thought or question, is usually because you're not quite sure about it. And that not quite sure means it's a no. So I feel like having discernment and being okay with it is the only thing that you need in your life. There are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be moments that might not turn out as best as you want it to, but it always navigates to the same road. It's just a longer road.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. Until next time, peace.